pretty significant brawl going on here, and he gives Juju a shot, and that's where the whole thing began.
It's rare to see an NFL primetime matchup turn into an episode of WWE, but that is exactly what happened between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. But why did this happen? What was the root cause of this? We will hear from some of the main actors involved in this brawl and break down what exactly made this Detroit Lions player snap. In case you missed it, there was an absolute brawl that happened between Juju Smith-Schuster and Brian Branch. You can see this right here. This is a new angle. All the players are trying to break this up. And what I cannot help but laugh at is seeing Juju Smith-Schuster just do like a complete front flip right there. And what's crazy is that this went on for a while, almost 40 seconds, a whole minute. From the aerial view, you can see that the referees fled the scene. They decided to not even be involved in this and just let the players and coaches sort themselves out. Luckily, nobody was seriously hurt besides Juju Smith-Schuster. Photos have emerged of the aftermath of the brawl where you can see the wide receiver of the Chiefs, Juju Smith-Schuster, with that bloody nose. That's not good. And even when he was heading to the locker room, you could see that he had his nose covered and some staff around him trying to make sure that the guy is okay. So this wasn't just a little tussle. This had some serious consequences. But how did this all start and why exactly did it happen? Well, you could see right after the game, you have Patrick Mahomes going for the handshake here, and then Brian Branch, the safety, just avoids Mahomes. Poor sportsmanship there, although he's not required to shake the guy's hand. And then after this, Juju Smith-Schuster kind of calls him out on this and then offers to extend the hand as well.
And then Branch and Juju continue.
And instead, Branch gives him a hard one in the face. And that is exactly when all hell broke loose. You're going to have to leave. Mahomes was definitely disappointed in head coach Dan Campbell and his team. He even gave the coach a stank eye right after this brawl happened. We're going to hear from Brian Branch and Juju Smith-Schuster in just a second, but a big reason why a lot of people think this happened was due to frustration with the officiating. The Chiefs had 0 penalties against the Lions. This is the first time that a team has had no penalties since week 18 in 2023. So the whole entire year of 2024, no team had 0 penalties, but the Chiefs made a little bit of history against the Lions on Sunday Night Football. Now we're going to go into some suspect plays in a little bit, but I do want to say that I believe the Chiefs were a better team in this game. I thought Mahomes made a lot of great plays with his legs, and I thought the Lions offense was just disappointing, especially in the second half. Now, if you watch this game live, you probably have heard of the famous Jared Goff touchdown reception, quarterback catching a touchdown that went absolutely viral. But unfortunately, this play call was called back. It was called illegal motion. Jared Goff apparently was supposed to pause after going into motion, but this wiped away a touchdown at the very beginning of the game, and then the Lions had to settle for 3 points. And let me be clear, a lot of people did not agree with this penalty. You got Boomer Esiason, the former NFL quarterback and analyst, saying that this should have been a touchdown.
There were a couple bad calls that I thought yesterday, and this was one of them. I love this play. I don't know what the illegal motion is. I'm not sure where it comes from, but as long as he doesn't have his hands under center, he's allowed to move Jared Goff, the quarterback.
But a big reason why Brian Branch decided to pop Juju Smith-Schuster was because of some illegal blocking and cheap shots that Juju did to Branch during the game. You can see this where Juju does a legal block in the back on Brian Branch. Boom, right there, knocking him to the floor right here. Boom, and that should have been a penalty, but I will say this was a point in the game where it was already over, but that definitely pissed off Branch. And of course, because the Chiefs have been a dynasty and have had some flags go their way over the past few years, NFL fans are going to be scrutinizing them and analyzing a lot of these plays, and you have some holding that happened when Patrick Mahomes was scrambling. You can see right here, this defensive lineman would have made the tackle, but he's being grabbed and grabbed and grabbed and held. And like I said, I thought the Chiefs were the better team on Sunday night, but you also have instances like this where Travis Kelce clearly did not make this catch, but it was ruled a completed pass. You cannot use the ground in order to help you maintain possession of the football. That is a rule in football that we all learn in freaking Pop Warner, right? But the Chiefs were able to hurry up and snap the football before the officials or the Detroit Lions had a chance to challenge it, but it should not have been ruled a catch in the first place on the field, and this upset Detroit Lions fans and the Lions themselves. Now, this one right here is the main one that I have a problem problem with, which is when Travis Kelce was running a route and there was a ball that is clearly not catchable, significantly overthrown, and instead the referees call a pass interference flag on Rock Ya-Sin. The cornerback Rock Ya-Sin cannot believe it, and if you watch it here, man, Kelce engages with Rock Ya-Sin. I don't know exactly what this cornerback is supposed to do to avoid a PI call in this situation. We had the B-roll playing for you. The ball was not even catchable. He wasn't holding Kelce. He literally just engaged him in press man coverage. I really don't know what the defense or a cornerback is supposed to do in this situation. That was very disappointing to see the referees call a PI flag on that. This is one where you see Mahomes get angry. Aiden Hutchinson hitting him late, and he did hit him late, roughing the passer. You can see Mahomes give him the stank eye right here. This is hilarious. And look, that was roughing the passer, but you have a lot of Lions fans saying that Mahomes pretty much threw a grounder where there was no receiver in the area. It should have been intentional grounding. And this one was really disappointing. You got the former Raider, Amik Robinson right here, and Travis Kelce right here gets away with a hold. And this is a critical moment in the game where the Chiefs are only up 3 points at the top of the fourth quarter. Travis Kelce clearly holds Amik Robinson right here. You can see Amik trying to grab on to the receiver, but he's being held, so he can't engage and make a tackle, and that allows the Chiefs to set themselves up nicely. Penalties not going your way, that happens. The fact that the Chiefs were not called for one single penalty at home in Arrowhead, very disappointing. But I think what really pissed off Brian Branch was not only the cheap shot from Juju Smith-Schuster, but what Patrick Mahomes did in this moment when Mahomes was having a stellar game. I'm going to say that I think Mahomes has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year, and I'm saying that as a Raiders fan. It hurts to admit it, but this guy has been carrying this Chiefs offense that hasn't had many great weapons this year. But here you go, Mahomes scores a touchdown with his legs, and then he stunts on Brian Branch right here, flexes on him. I will say Branch bumped into him. I don't think Branch could have stopped himself, but Mahomes flexes on him towards the end of the game, points at him, and I think that's what really pissed him off. And if you don't believe me, let's hear from the horse's mouth.
I'm tired of people doing stuff in between the play and refs don't catch it. Like, they be trying to bully me out there. I ain't gonna should have never did it. It was childish. I got locked in the back illegally, and it was running the ref. The ref didn't do anything, and just stuff like that. I could have got hurt off of that, but it's still I still shouldn't have done that.
So Juju in particular was the one that hit you? Or
yes.
Yeah. Was there other things that they were doing just in terms of maybe rubbing it in at the head?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff, but I should have showed it between the whistle.
So he calls out the ref. He calls out the block in the back from Juju, but like we showed earlier, that was when the game was pretty much already over. And also he called out the fact that they were boasting a little bit at the end. Now let's hear from the man who bleeds red, literally.
I think after the game, I expect him to shake his hand and say good game and, move past way, but he threw a punch. Me just blocking him, I'm just doing my job. I played between the whistles, and after the game, he took advantage of what he did.
You could tell he was frustrated when you were blocking.
Yeah, he was frustrated, for sure frustrated.
I think it's silly to attribute it to just the block in the back. That's what set off Brian Branch. I think just other NFL teams are tired of the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't like them because they've been successful, and they don't like the fact that the officiating has at least been favorable to them. I'm not going to say rigged, but favorable to them over the past few years. And there's just a growing trend where constantly Kansas City Chiefs players are getting decked, whether it's by the Chargers or even the Detroit Lions. This has happened multiple times this year already. Disciplinary action is likely coming soon for Brian Branch. Dan Campbell was not happy about what happened.
I love Brian Branch, but what he did is inexcusable, and it's not going to be accepted here. It's not what we do. It's not what we're about. I apologize to Coach Reed and the Chiefs and and Schuster. That's not okay. That's not what we do here, and it's not going to be okay. He knows it. Our team knows it, and.
Look, if you follow Brian Branch, this guy has a history of getting fines. It seems like he lets his temper get to him, and I think it is frustrating. It sucks dealing with a loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes responded to everything that happened, and I think he had a good response. I hate to say it.
We play the game in between the whistles. They can do all the extracurricular stuff they want to do, but we play the game in between the whistles. We thought we played a great game today.
The Chiefs went into this game with a 2-3 record. I think the Detroit Lions expected to win. They got frustrated. They got upset, but they should have had a better game plan against Mahomes and they should have shown up. And I think the Chiefs were ready to play, ready to whoop ass, desperate for a win. And now they're back at home next week, going to play my Raiders in their freaking money line as plus 490, which is absolutely insane with an 11.5 spread in favor of the Chiefs. Basically, the markets are saying the Raiders are going to get their ass whooped. So I don't know how I'm going to watch this game as a Raiders fan. I will endure the pain, but unfortunately, the Chargers are starting to collapse a little bit due to the injuries. The Broncos offense is not that electric as we expected it to be. I hate saying this and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I think when it's all said and done, the Chiefs will win the AFC West. Son of a bitch.